Hey there, YouTube. This is Mr. Budget coming with another, not really a concept that I'm normally doing, but I'm going to start trying to do more of these. So this is what I'm hoping for inside of the Altmile Stride deck set. So I'm going to go over these cards right here that you guys see in front of you. These are the cards that, outside of what is in standard as of right now, which is like this grade 2 right here. But these are kind of basically the cards that came in the original Altmile structure deck. So I'm going to go over what I'm hoping to see, what their abilities might be, and just go from there. Of course, starting with Altmile, we are going to get the original Altmile. That's neither here nor here. The exact same version of Altmile that you see here. So going over to this card is Aura Shooter Dragon. Now, this is the original grade 3 that came inside of Altmile, original structure deck. Its current ability is when it attacks in Vanguard, it gets 6,000 power, so it becomes a 16k beater. Although you can counterblast 2 when this unit is placed on Vanguard. You may pay the cost if you do search your deck for up to 1 grade 2 and call it. So this was the alternative ride if you couldn't get an Altmile. So what I'm thinking this is going to do, it's going to keep that ability when it attacks a Vanguard on Vanguard or Rearguard Circle, or just Rearguard Circle, to gain not 6k but 5,000 power. They're definitely going to bump it up to a 13k base unit, so it'll swing for 18. And the ability for it to call a grade 2, I'm also thinking they're going to keep that on the Rearguard Circle, change it from Vanguard to Rearguard Circle, and maybe change its Counterblast from Counterblast 2 to maybe a Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, or an Energy Blast 3 to call a grade 2 when placed. They might even go a step further to make it a place from hand, but I'm definitely also believing they're going to give it the ability that, like every other Stride deck set has this other grade 3 in the deck, when you pitch this card for Stride, you get to do something. So maybe you get to call this card back onto the board. That way you can trigger its effect to pay the cost to call another grade 2 out. Something along those lines that'd be really great. But I know once we get more Altmile support down the road, this card's going to be removed from the deck, or even with the new grade 3 Striding Dragon that we have for every nation, you replace this with that dragon. But just out of the box, I'm thinking we're going to get this. Or we might get another card called Knight of Great Spear, which is what Xi'an moved to when his Vanguard evolved, and he took this card out of his deck. Next, we're going to skip this card for right now, and I'm going to talk about the implications of this card later. I'm hoping they're going to give us a common version of this card in the deck, but we're going to go right to the grade 2, which is Absolute Blade Knight Levero. So this is going to be the grade 2 of the ride line. So what I'm hoping for, if we don't have an order to go along with this deck, he has the ability that when Altmile rides him, you may pay whatever cost. It may be EB, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, primarily a Soul Blast 1, and then look at the top 7 cards of your deck and call up to 1 grade 2 or less card from among them to Rearguard Circle. If you didn't call anything, call this card out. And having the Rearguard ability is that when this unit attacks, if your Vanguard is Altmile, he gains 10,000 power. So just because of playing off the terms of the ultimate Absolute Blade Knight, he becomes a 20k beater, and he's able to call out other allies when Altmile rides him. I'm looking for something similar to that. Going for the grade 1, Lunar, not Lunar, is it Lunar? It's been a long time. Lunar Crescent Flux. So this is just going to be the grade 1 for all, similar to all other Stride deck sets that have ever come out. So when you ride him, you get the access to the crest, things of that nature. So just slap on the original crest giving ability that all other crest bearers have on him, and that's basically what he'll become. The grade 0 that I would like to see is Blinky Knight Milius. That was Xi'an's original grade 0 starter. Always will be. Has the normal stuff for the starter. If you go second, draw a card. Pretty simple, pretty the same. Going into side support. So we're going to go jump right back up here. This is one of my favorite cards, and I hope they give it to us and give us justice finally. This will be Knight of Twin Swords. This is what allowed Altmile to be known as the multi-attack deck. So what I'm hoping for is that we get a 10k beater, Knight of Twin Swords. I don't care if it's Generation Break 1. Just give it the ability that when it attacks a Vanguard, When boosted, if your Vanguard has Altmile in its card name, this unit gains 5,000 power, and you can search your deck and call a grade 2. That will not named Knight of Twin Swords. Let's keep it a buck. Let's make it fair. So that way you can gain a little bit of power on top of the boost and call out a grade 2 like you originally do and have the 10k threshold. I don't care if it's Generation Break 1. I can live with that. But give us Knight of Twin Swords so we can get back to doing our Royal Paladin multi-attack strategy. I love the Vieira Altmile, but I'm getting I want a multi-attack. I want to go back to multi-attacking. So before I go any further, so I want this, but this is the reason why this card here is in this deck, because the idea is that between Altmile and this card, you're guaranteed four full column attacks. So the idea is to, on grade 3, I would, oh sorry, not grade 3, but on grade 4 stride turn, I would swing with a column, swing with Knight of Twin Swords boosted, call Knight of Rendering Flash Caribri. Caribri skill will be on place on regular circle, counterblast 1, soul blast 1. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card from among them, call it to rearguard circle if it's a grade 2 or less unit. If it's a grade 2 or less unit, if it's not added to your hand, so I mean adding perfect guards, no, so not adding perfect guards, adding back stride fodder and things of that nature. But the point is that you would call him off of Knight Twin Swords, he'll call himself a booster, making a brand new column. That way you can swing and attack. So that's what I'm looking forward to going forward. So that way we can get at least 4 attacks going. In the future, if they can give us, when Altmile eventually gets more support, if they can give us Knight of Counteroffensive Salim, Saliman, to allow us to go from attack with a column, Knight of Twin Swords into Saliman, into Garbage, not Garbage, what's his name again? Not Garbage. Kirby. That's a guaranteed 5 attacks. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Vanguard swing for 5. That guarantees our 5 attack combo. We just need the extra multi-attacking card to make sure we get 5 attacks in every single turn. So that's what I'm looking forward to for our next wave of support when we enter the brave state of cards that we will eventually get. But because this is our first stepping stone into Altmile, we have to stick with the original cards that Altmile got, which were not brave units. Going into the grade 1s, of course we're going to need our stride fodder, or the other card that's in every stride deck to allow you to find your grade 3s. So Alluring Knight Sisyphus is definitely going to be in the deck. He just have the generic effect that you can discard him, search your deck for a grade 3 with the Altmile's card name, things of that nature, plain and simple like all the other ones. Knights, this is, they really got it really small. This is Knight of Reform Pierre. So for those who don't know, Pierre has the ability that every time on board Generation Break 1, every time a grade 2 unit is called to the board, he and the unit in front of him get plus 2,000 power. So the idea would be call this unit, search top 3, get lucky and see this and call it behind him. That way when you use your Vanguard skill, when the attacks or whatever the case being, to call more grade 2s out, this column will get buffed. So it gets plus 2,000 power, so they're gonna have to buff that power gainage. I don't know how they can buff it. 5k seems a little too strong, and we really don't see that many 4 and 3k power buffs in standard these days. So I don't know where they're gonna draw the line with giving power. If they keep it 2k, they keep it 2k. Basically, it's the same card. They keep it 2k. That's basically the same card. They can't really complain about that. But this I would really like to see this card in the stride deck set that allows this column to gain some power. Going into the grade 0s, like I said, starter, we're definitely seeing this crit. I don't care if it's a vanilla. This is one of Altmile's original crits. This is one of his best cards. We are definitely going to see this, just like we saw with the Aichi deck. We saw Flogel, we saw Epina. You're definitely going to see Bellius here. You might see this crit here, which I'm hoping for. I don't like the other crit Shion had in his deck, the Knight, the Piercing Knight. I don't really like it. I hope we get the Lion. Draw triggers wise, any draw trigger. We really didn't see the draw trigger that Shion had in his deck was the bat that you can put into soul and gain 3,000 power. But again, draw triggers are going to be replaced with effect draw, so we really don't care about those. Um, if anything, this line will be replaced with the effect crit dragon, feather dragon. But I really would like to see this card come back as a vanilla. I don't care if it doesn't have an effect or not. And finally, we're definitely getting the horse, the Pegasus. This has always been Shion's heal trigger. This even became one of his. Did it become a guardian? A G guardian? I'm not 100% sure. No, that was a dragon. It would have been poetic if his first G guardian was the horse, but I digress. This has to be his heal trigger. I'm going to step out of this frame real quick because I forgot to add two more cards that we have to talk about. So we're going to step right into the G zone next. So bear with me here. We're going to step right into the G zone, and then we're going to find two cards, and then we're going to talk about those two cards. We're going to go down. Well, three cards, actually. We have to talk about this one. We have to talk about... Wow, where are they? Let's see. Not that one. Not that. Definitely not that. Wow, they must be really at the bottom. We have to talk about this one. Oh, sorry. We definitely. So I'm sorry. It's more than three cards. We have to talk about this one too. No. And this. We have to talk about this. So we're gonna go back to confirm deck. Okay, we're gonna go back down. Okay, we're gonna talk about the G zone now. So in this Strider deck, we're guaranteed to get 4 copies, 2 different strides, 4 copies, right? So I'm thinking we're definitely gonna get Gobblade. Gobblade was his first stride, right? This has to be his first stride. So this is gonna be what's gonna flip everything over, da da da, big da da da. Then his finishing card, which is going to be Era Divine at Altmile, because everyone's secondary stride is the evolved form of their grade 3 boss unit. So we're going to get Era Divine at Altmile as his secondary stride to try to finish games out. Next, when they give us another wave of support, they're going to give us Saint Blow Dragon. So we're going to look at original Saint Blow Dragon has the ability. Choose a face down card with Saint Blow Dragon in its card name for your G zone, turn it face up. This unit gets 3,000 power for each of your rear guards to the end of turn. Then if the number of your G zone units is 2 or more, and the number of your rear guards are 2 or more, this unit gets +1 crit. So this is going to be the next card that we get, like Ogma, and what is Night Rose's next grade 3? That pirate dude, whatever. But we're going to get Holy Saint Blow Dragon as the 3rd stride card in our set, because this card demands that you need at least have 2 face-up G units to kind of finish out the game. But that does raise the question: if you're going to do that, how are they going to revamp Aerial Divine Altmile as a starting stepping stone finishing stride? Because for those who played the deck heavily back in the day, like myself, Aerial Divine Knight is not a finishing stride. He is a stepping stone stride. He is there to just get you over a turn to get more cards in your G zone. That is what he's there for. His ability states that when you... Let's take a look at it. Choose a face-down card with Aerial Divine Altmile in your G zone, turn it face up. You may pay the cost if you do. This unit gets the continuous vertex skill. All the units in your front row receive 3,000 power for each copy of Aerial Divine Altmile in your G zone. Then on place, if there are 2 or more cards in your G zone that are face up, you may superior call a grade 2 unit and give it 5,000 power. That does not scream "I'm going to kill you" this turn. That screams either this is a setup turn for next turn, or this is my first stride turn. So what they could do is kind of rechange the format of how they give our strides. Because before they would give you, like, let's take Chrono Jet for example. They would give you a starting stride and then give you next stage. What they could do is give us Area Divine and Altmile as our first stride, as our step up stride, and then give us Saint Blow Dragon. But if they want to give Altmile, Area Divine and Altmile as our secondary stride, that means Godblade here has to have the ability to turn a card face up in the G zone. Similar to his history stride version. If they do not give it that, they do not revamp this version of Godblade to allow a turnip card like how they have all the other ones. That way you can increase your GBs for your next turn. That's the only way that I can see them doing that. If they don't do that, Area Divine Knight Altmile has to be our first stride. Saint Blow has to be our second stride, and then when we get more support, Transcending the Heavens Altmile will be our third stride. That's the only way that I see them going forward. It will have to be 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, and then we get Transcending down the road when everyone gets 16 cards and they're back in their G zone. But those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Comment down below. Are you excited for the new Stride deck sets that are coming out early next year? November 20th for Japan. We're most likely going to get it in January or February of 2027. For one, I'm looking very much forward to this. And this is what I have been asking from day one since I first saw the first Stride deck set. Where is Altmile? Where is Asha? If you guys want me to have a conversation about what Asha cards might be, I might have a special guest down below. But if you can get this video to 15 likes, I will definitely get jumping on that video and get it going. Until then, I've been Mr. Budget. These are my opinions. As always, have fun, keep it budget. Man, I can't wait for next year. Peace.